How soon after unprotected can I test for pregnancy? Whether you're attempting to create a little version of yourself or hoping to prevent it, it makes sense to want to know as soon as possible if, to use a word from Juno, your eggo is preggo. Unfortunately, if you test too soon, you may receive a false negative. This might lead to a false sensation of happiness, relief, or disappointment for you and your partner. So, when precisely should you take a pregnancy test after unprotected sex? And what are the following steps when you get your results? This handbook covers everything. What's the quick answer? Most physicians advocate waiting until your period is late before taking a pregnancy test if you monitor your cycle and it is regular. Experts recommend waiting 9 to 12 days after unprotected intercourse if you don't know when your period is expected to be, or if your menstruation is irregular. According to Hallie Tecco, the founder and chief women's health officer of Natalist, an online shop that provides pregnancy and ovulation tests, prenatal vitamins, and other products. About 15% of menstruating women do not have a regular cycle. If you haven't had sex in the last 5 days. Ultimately, your decision to relocate here will be determined by whether or not you want to become pregnant. There isn't much you can do if you want to get pregnant other than twiddling your fingers. Perhaps twiddling your thumbs while slipping down the rabbit hole of a pregnancy TikTok? If you do not want to become pregnant, you have 2 alternatives for reducing the chance of pregnancy. The first alternative is to take a morning after tablet, such as Plan B or Ella. Oral emergency contraceptives, despite its name, can be used up to 5 days following unprotected intercourse to lower the chance of unplanned pregnancy. Another alternative is to receive a copper IUD as soon as possible. The copper IUD helps prevent pregnancy from a recent unprotected sexual experience, as well as any future encounters you have with the IUD in place. When placed within 120 hours of having unprotected sex. If you are aware of when your next period is due. If you've been tracking your cycle and have a regular period, you'll be able to choose the optimal time to take a pregnancy test. To understand why, you need first learn more about how pregnancy tests operate. Ready? Human chorionic gonadotropin, sometimes known as the pregnancy hormone, is measured by pregnancy tests, explains Mary Jane Minkin, MD, an OBGYN at Yale University. The trouble is, while the quantity of hormone detected by the tests varies depending on whether they are urine or blood tests. Your body normally does not create enough of this hormone to be detectable until at least 10 days after the sperm has successfully implanted the egg. And the sperm does not instantly implant the egg. Minkin adds that it takes time for the egg and sperm to travel together down the fallopian tubes, where they first meet, to the uterus, where it implants. When a fertilized egg implants in the uterine wall, it begins to divide. She claims that the placenta, which contains the pregnancy hormone, does not form until the fertilized egg begins to divide. Overall, it takes around 9 days after conception for the body to produce the 20 to 25 milli-international units per milliliter of HCG required by most urine tests to get a positive result. Blood tests may detect the precise quantity of pregnancy hormone in your blood, allowing you to know your pregnancy status sooner. As an example, it is regarded not pregnant if the number of international units is less than 5 million. Uncertainty ranges from 6 to 24 milli-international units. It is considered pregnant if you have 25 milli-international units or more. If you are unsure when your next period is due, you may not have previously tracked your period, but you now have the option to do so. This time, you'll track the number of days since you had unprotected intercourse. Alan Copperman, medical director of Progeny and co-founder of Reproductive Medicine Associates of New York, says you can take your first test after 10 days.